Welcome back to another episode of the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. I'm your host, Alex Meacham, former UC basketball player from 1997 to 1999 under the legendary coach, my man, Bob Huggins. And I was fortunate enough to wear the iconic Jordan Brand unis during my time. Now, you can find me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Alex_Meacham. Meacham is spelled M-E-A-C-H-A-M. You can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn as Alex Meacham. You can find me on Snapchat, Big Meach 41. And thanks to my producer, the Honorable Stu Holt, I'm on TikTok. No videos, though. Just a creeper. On TikTok at Alex Meacham 41. Bearcat fans, I'm excited to welcome in our next guest, played for the Bearcats from 2003 to 2006. And I'm on record for saying this over and over again. In my opinion, he goes down as the greatest dunker in UC Bearcat history. Don't at me. I'd like to welcome in my guy, number 21, James Flight White. What up, Flight?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm maintaining, man. Now, listen, you're very active on Twitter, and a lot of Bearcat fans, I think, really enjoy that because they love hearing from former players what they got going on. And one thing that you're very active on Twitter about is something that I really love, and that is the sport of boxing.
Yes. Yeah.
You are a big boxing aficionado. How did that come about?
Well, where I'm from, boxing is like a real big deal. I'm from Sea Pleasant, Maryland. Right next door is Palmer Park, where Sugar Ray Leonard's from.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
Growing up, he had a boxing gym in Palmer Park. And my mom's actually from that area. I grew up boxing. The whole neighborhood grew up boxing. My dad's real big into boxing. Used to have me watching not just boxing, but early MMA. Like the first UFCs, I saw those like on tape. I never forget them. Like Hoist Gracie, Dan Severn, all them dudes. So like I was big into all combat sports, was involved in it. I'm a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. So I was into all that. So I boxed coming up and took Taekwondo. So I'm into it. And then, like, the other side of it, just I know some boxers. So, like, I'm just really big into it. And my youngest son is just starting to box. So, I'm into it.
Good, I love it. So let's talk just briefly a little bit about boxing because I don't get a chance to talk boxing with a lot of people because I feel like since the heavyweight, there was a point where heavyweight was, on top of the world. Everybody loved boxing, obviously Mike Tyson being such a big figure in sports as he was, but then there was kind of a drop-off. And I think other sports played a part in the heavyweight side of boxing not being as popular as it is now. And then you get a guy like Floyd who comes into the sport and, he kind of turned it into, okay, it's the world against me, and it became so much entertainment. And in my opinion, I think he is obviously one of the most skilled fighters, defensively, offensively, one of the most skilled fighters of all time. But I think one thing that's happened that's going to really help this sport, and that is, and some people don't like this, and I want to get your opinion, Floyd is getting ready to fight Logan Paul. Mm-hmm. And you're starting to get these YouTube influencers, starting to do the sport, and people are kind of dogging on that. But what I tell them is I think it's bringing attention to the sport that will help other fighters, i.e. a Spence, Ryan Garcia, Tank. Mm-hmm. It will bring attention to them. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you have people that are like fans of the sweet science of boxing like me. I love watching the technical part of boxing. But the novice, the person who just doesn't know anything about boxing and just tuning in, they're turning in for the spectacle. The reason Mike Tyson was such a big person is because he knocked people out. And that's why the heavyweight division was so big, because most likely you're going to get a knockout because all it takes is one punch with the heavyweights. The thing that Floyd did was he turned it into he used the sweet science, but he also was like, it's me, and you're tuning in to see if I'm going to lose.
Yep.
That's what it's all about. So now the thing that Floyd's doing now is he's bringing in these eyes that don't know anything about boxing, but know about Logan Paul, know about Jake Paul, know about these guys, and he's bringing them into the sport, which is a good thing. Now, some people are saying, like you said, that it's a bad thing, but all it's going to do is add fans to boxing, because what's going to happen is Floyd's going to carry him for a couple rounds, and then he's going to knock him out. That's what's going to happen. And then people are going to just start like, oh, I want to see more of this. So you're going to continue to see these type of fights as long as people pay for them. And the people that are paying for them are the people that are fans of Logan Paul, not fans of Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, no question. So you gave me your opinion on the Floyd Logan Paul, which I agree with. What is your opinion on a couple fights coming up? Pacquiao versus Spence on August 21st.
A lot of people are giving Pac no chance. I mean, I think he has a chance if he has to fight very smart. But at the end of the day, I think it's a pass the torch type of fight. And I just heard that he's getting his WBA championship back, so it raises the stakes even more for Earl Spence. So he's going to be even more hungry. So I got Spence in that one, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think it is. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm rolling with Spence as well. Now, a fight that I really want to see is up and coming Ryan Garcia. A lot of people are attracted to his speed, and I know he's a pretty boy, so he's going to bring in that side of the fan base. But one of the guys that I got a chance to watch work out in Vegas some years ago when he was on the rise, one of the extremely hard hitters in the sport, and that's Tank Davis. So everyone's talking about Tank and Garcia going at it. What would be your opinion on that fight?
First of all, Tank's from Baltimore, so I seen Tank fight when he was a little kid. That's first of all. Second of all, Tank has a big fight coming up. I don't know if people know that. He's fighting Mario Barrios, who's 140 champion. He's going up 2 weight classes to fight a big, talented, hard-hitting dude from San Antonio. It's going to be a barn burner. That fight's going to be crazy. So he has to get past him first. But with him and Garcia, that's a tough fight for both, because Ryan's defense isn't great right now. He still has some flaws in the chink in his armor, but at the same time he hits hard. Tank gets hit, and he's very tall. So I think that will give Tank some problems, and he's very fast. So that's to me, that's a 50-50 fight right there. I don't know who will win that, but like I said, Tank got a big fight coming up. So we'll see. This next fight will let me know a lot about Tank, and I really give a lot of props to Tank for him even going up 2 weight classes and fighting that dude. True.
I'm a big fan of Tank. I like how he fights. Obviously, he doesn't have the personality of a Floyd, a camp that he's under, but he's a hard-nosed kid, and I give him the edge versus Garcia just because, Garcia's going to hit him. He's too fast, but Tank likes to get hit. Like, he'll take 2 to give you 1.
That's for sure.
And that 1 he's going to give you, man.
That's the only thing about Garcia, though. He hits hard.
He does.
For his division, for 135, he hits hard, and he probably shouldn't even be at 1. He probably should be at a 140. He's a big kid, so he hits pretty hard, especially that left hand. So it's like, man, how many you gonna take though? But I think Tank will eventually catch him, because Garcia, he moves straight back. He doesn't dip or move to the side. All his movements are straight back. That's how he got caught by Luke Campbell. Moved backwards, and he got caught. And I think if he gets caught by one of Tanks,
he ain't getting up from that one.
Exactly.
He ain't getting up. Any other fights you're looking forward to see coming up?
I'm looking forward to the Fury Wilder fight. I think Wilder. I think going into that second fight, Wilder had a lot of stuff going. He had a bicep injury. He didn't look right at all from the beginning of the fight. From the start, he just didn't look right. And I think with his new trainer, Malik Scott, I think he's gonna throw some new wrinkles. I think it's gonna be a way better fight. And with him, you never know what's gonna happen. So I think that fight, like I said, the Tank Mario Barrios fight. I want to see Terrence Crawford get in there with either Showtime Sean Porter or Ugas. And man, Lomachenko got a fight coming up against Nakatani. That's a big fight, and that's about it.
Terrence Crawford's one of my favorites to watch right now. That's my guy, man. That's when he fights, I stop everything. I definitely got to watch that.
He's on the shelf, man. His promotion is doing a terrible job with him. He's just on the shelf, and you know, Bob Arum came out lately and said he can't make no money with them, and so it's tough on him right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, let's jump into coaching a little bit. You know, one of the great things I think about, you know, the former players from University of Cincinnati is to find out what they're doing, and so many of them are involved in basketball in some form or fashion, whether it's youth basketball. Kenny Satterfield just got the head coaching job at Hughes High School. Kashmir Wright's at Clark. Kevin Johnson's coaching with Kashmir Wright. So many guys are getting involved, and I love to see guys on the rise and get an opportunity to coach at the highest level, whether that's college and in some cases eventually the NBA. And you've been on record saying that you want to coach, and this past season you've coached. Can you update the Bearcat fans on where you coached and how it went?
Well, I mean, it's still going on right now. Actually, I had the opportunity. Steve Francis, he has a team here in this league called the TBL, which is like a pro league, a pretty good level, probably like a little lower than the G League. We got some guys that are pros, and we got 30 teams throughout the country. I didn't know much about it when I entered the league, but being in there now, it's pretty legit league and good basketball players and good basketball. So I was able to come on. I was supposed to be the assistant for Moochie Norris. He was supposed to be the head coach, but Moochie took me obligations, so I ended up being the head coach from the beginning. So I've been, you know, which is hard because as an assistant, you try to develop relationships with the players so that they can come to you. You know, all assistants are guys that are like a big brother to the players, you know.
Right.
And I had early on, I developed that relationship with them, and then I was turned to the head coach, so it was like, damn, I might be too close to him, you know what I'm saying? So I had that dynamic, but it's been going great, man. And we 15-1, we number one team in the whole league right now. And man, we rolling, man. We rolling right now. So I mean, hopefully we win the championship, but right now it's looking real good.
What's your coaching style?
Man, I basically I'm a mix between Hugs and AK, if that makes sense. So defense, like we be heavily defensively. I'm picking up full court, a lot of help, no offensive rebounds allowed. Big on defense, but offensively it's like a free. I don't condemn anybody for any shots. I let guys play free, but I run an offense where it's like everybody's going to, you know, get involved, and so I mean everybody's going to have opportunity. So that's the type of coaching style I run. I'm not too hard on them offensively. Defensively is where I'm real hard on them all.
Now, obviously, Bob Huggins is known for the legendary 3-hour practices when he coached with the Bearcats, and they were just absolutely wild. What are your practices like?
Not like that. I mean, even because these guys are pros.
It's different, right?
It's different. It's way different. I mean, I consider them pros. Like, even though, I mean, it's not at the highest level, I still treat it like pros because a lot of these guys are going to go on to get jobs elsewhere. So we already got 2 or 3 guys that had offers overseas. A couple guys signed with G League teams. So when they get there, they have to be prepared to practice and play like pros, and that's why I'm treating it. So when you're in the pros, you might practice an hour, 2 hours, and then you got the whole rest of the day. So you got from 10 to 12, and then after 12 o'clock, you got a whole free day. Now, how do you handle yourself after that? That's the key. So we handle it like that. We do a lot of we play a lot. We do a lot of individual work, but we practice about 4 or 5 times a day, and we play 2 games on the weekend. So like this weekend, for example, we play Friday and Saturday. So I will give them off Sunday. Probably give them depending on how well we play Saturday and Sunday. I might give them Sunday, Monday off, and then we prep back on Tuesday and go hard.
Yeah. That's okay. So I thought I made a mistake. I thought your season was over with. So it's still going on. When does it end?
It'll be over at the end of this month. So playoffs, I think we got 3 more weeks of the regular season, 2 more weeks of the regular season after this week, and then playoffs start.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
What do you think your chances are in the playoffs?
Oh man,
good.
If we don't win the championship, it's a disappointment.
Okay.
It's a letdown. That's how superior I think my team is than everybody else's.
Good. I like that. So, so far, is being a head coach, is it what you expected? I'm sure you've learned a lot, but is it what you expected, and are you enjoying it?
So going into it, I wanted to be the assistant because I want to learn. My whole thing is learning how to be a head coach eventually, and there's a lot of things that go into being a head coach that I didn't understand. So like just even getting the players to buy into your system, running a practice, preparing for practices, doing all that stuff is something that I wanted to learn from somebody else. One of the real reasons I want to get on a staff, because eventually I want to be a head coach, but I want to be an assistant coach first and learn. So being thrown right into it, I had to learn quick. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn quick, and it really what I did was go back to my old playing days and just how did we run practice at UC? How did I run practice with? How did Popovich do things? How did Hugs do things? How did AK? And I just did it. I took a mix of everything, and I did it like that and incorporated it like that. And then I got a great group of guys. You know, with me, I'm really the only coach, so I got to deal with personalities. I got to deal with playing time. I got to I got to watch all the film, prepare everything, So I'm doing everything. So I'm getting a good experience with everything right now. So it's great, and I love it.
You're wearing a lot of hats,
man. Wow. It's because it's a mix between playing overseas and AAU, because the level is the basketball is good, but like as far as like, you know, when we travel, so we might travel to like we've been on the road for the last 4 weeks, so we might go to Dallas on Saturday. We might drive the day of the game, and then the day after that, right after the game, we drive to Shreveport, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Then stay overnight, and you got to do it like it's a little different. So you have to be, like you said, I'm wearing a lot of hats, driver, everything.
Well, see, I think that experience will bode well for you in the future, because you eventually want to be a head coach, but you're learning and having to deal with all the different aspects of the game. You're a head coach right now. You are also the first assistant, second assistant, third assistant, the Dobo. Like you're doing all of that, which means you could jump into a position later and you're like, oh, I know how to do that. I've been doing that, right?
So yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because as coaching pros, the difference between coaching pros, I got lucky because in this position, these guys, when you coach like in the NBA, it's a different thing than coaching in college, because the players have more of an advantage over you, right? So you don't have as much power in the NBA as you do in college. So because in college, everybody's still trying to get somewhere, right? NBA, they're there, and they're making more money than you, so they have more power. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's a mixture here, because these guys, a lot of these dudes are just fresh out of college, right? So they're still trying to achieve something. So they're still listening. They're still buying in. They're still, whatever you tell them, and it's me, and they know me, and they know what I've done in my career, so they're all ears, and they listen still. And everything I've done has been working. So I've got lucky. So I've been blessed to have a great group of guys. Steve has been great, helping me out with anything I need, and we've done good. And Moochie comes through. Like today, we had practice. We had a couple guys down, and Moochie practiced today at 50 years old. Practice. He pulled a hamstring, but he practiced that.
Right. But you know what? So I want to use this to segue into, you and I had quite a few conversations via text, on the phone, when Wes Miller got the job at the University of Cincinnati, about you coming on staff and being an assistant under Wes Miller. But now that I listen to you, it's almost maybe a blessing that you're doing what you're doing, because you might be gaining more valuable experience, at least right now, than you would if you would, be a year under the Bearcats. Does that make sense?
No, for sure. And I look at it like what's meant for me will be for me. and it'll come. It'll eventually come, and I feel that way. And I think it's going to be an opportunity that comes up that's going to be like perfect. And like you said, I think that it was a blessing. But either way, it would have been a great experience. But yeah, man, the experience I'm getting now, man, I probably wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. I mean, things just worked out kind of perfect for me for what I want to do in the future.
Yeah. So speaking of that, let's talk about your interaction with Wes Miller. You had a chance to speak with him, correct?
Yeah, I spoke to him twice. Once before, he told me he hired DJ. Then once, like the day he told me. So I talked to him like, he was telling me he didn't know I was interested in coaching. We were talking, man. We had a good talk. What's crazy is we played against each other in high school. So he was telling me the story about because he played with Rashad McCants, and I remember the game. I was at Hargrave Military Academy. We were talking about that game, how crazy it was. And we just talking, man, just like like we know each other for years. And that's the thing that I took away from him. He's like a very down to earth, cool dude, man. And I felt sincere as far as what he said he was looking to do with the team. A lot of guys say, they want to bring guys back as far as, bring the guys back and get them involved in the program. But he sounded like he's really, vested in that, and I could see his vision on all the things he wanted to do. So that was dope.
Yeah, for sure. So your impression of him just from two conversations and some of the things maybe you've seen on Twitter as far as his actions thus far, you've been impressed with him?
Yeah, because a lot of the players, right? So, for example, Eric called me. I haven't talked to Eric Hickson, especially like on the phone in years. Years. Me and E. Hicks have a weird relationship. But that's my guy, right? So, E. Hicks calls me. I was yesterday or the day before. I just finished practice. Called me out of nowhere. It was like, yo, Skinny, man, we got Wes. He's like, he's talking about how he loves Wes and how Wes is going to do all these things. And I mean, that's what I mean. Like the former players really feel that he's really trying, and just by his actions, hiring DJ, bringing Kyle Washington, like those actions really show that you are really trying and that you want to, make this thing get back to where it was. So I mean, it's more about the actions than him just talking, because anybody can talk. Like, all these dudes that are head coaches do a pretty good job of talking because they have to get recruits, right? So basically, it's about actions. It's not about just your words. But his words also was like, when I talked to him, it wasn't about just what he was saying. It was like, okay, I feel like he's a player almost. Like he's a former player, so I felt him what he was saying. So everything he was saying was like real stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
for sure. And you just mentioned earlier with Dermar, with Slim getting the job there with them. I know you and Dermar are close. I know you're happy for him. You've had conversations with him, and what were those like as far as him being happy that he's there?
Yeah. So when I talked to Wes the second time, Wes was like, "Yeah, James, I'm gonna go with DeMar. I'm gonna hire DeMar." As I was like, "Oh, that's cool." You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm disappointed not getting the gig, but at the same time, I was like, man, that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I was happy for him, and also for Wes and the program. You know what I'm saying? Because I know DJ was going to do a great job. And then I called DJ like, "Yo, congrats!" And he was talking to me like, "Yeah, man, I got the gig, but I don't know what I'm gonna be doing." You know what I'm saying? He didn't at that point he didn't know what he was what he was exactly going to be doing. But yeah, man, DJ is like, I mean, he's bought into Cincinnati all the way. DJ's. He lives there. He's more acclimated than I am as far as the city. He's truly embraced the city, truly embraced the Bearcats, and he's going to be all in, man. Yeah, he's excited, man. I don't know if you saw that picture that he had in his office of me, that they had in his office when he went in. Did you see that?
I did see that. I saw that. That's pretty. Was that there prior, or did he did put that up?
No, it was just in the office. That was just what
crazy.
was in the office when he went in there. It's crazy.
That is crazy. I've never seen that in there, and I haven't really been in the office like that. But that's pretty cool. So let me ask you this, all right? And this is going to lead me to the next question. If next year a position opens, an assistant position opens on the Bearcat staff, would you want to interview for that position?
Oh yeah. I mean, it depends on what I got going, but yes. I mean, look, I have a dream. Like, so I have a dream of the way I want things to work out. I mean, my eventual goal is to be at Cincinnati, whether it be head coach, assistant coach. I mean, eventually be on staff at Cincinnati. I mean, whether it be later or early, whatever, that's the dream, and then we'll go from there. But you know, that'll be great if I can do it early and then go from there. But you know, we'll see what happens. I feel like after this summer, I'll have more opportunities to get on somewhere else, and then we'll see what happens in the future.
Yeah. So why are you so passionate about joining the Bearcat staff? Because listen, there are some former players that they're like, oh, I don't care, I'll get on wherever I get on, I'm good. But you are like passionate about coaching for the Bearcats. Why is that?
Because first of all, when I leaving somewhere, so when you transfer somewhere, right? And I transferred from Florida and I came to Cincinnati. It felt like it was like home, and they embraced me. You know what I'm saying? They embraced me, and it felt like you know, everything about the feel of the Hugs era and everything that was going on in the city it was just like, I can't explain it. It's like it was just different, and it was just like an experience where I feel like and I experienced some of that at Florida too. Just that college experience, that big time experience. I felt that at Cincinnati, like to a whole nother level, and I want to be a coach. That my passion is coaching, and I want to coach at that level and bring that type of passion and be part of something like that back in Cincinnati. If I can bring that and that type of feel anywhere, I want it to be at Cincinnati, because I know what it could be, and I know how great the city is, the school is, and I just want to bring that same type of energy back. I want to bring everything back. I want to bring all that feel back. You can't bring that, you know, that time back. You got to move on from that time, but I want to bring that feel back, city, where it's like, yeah, we're the people to be feared. Like when you know, when you come to Cincinnati, it's going down. Like that's the type of feel I want to bring. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a part of, and I feel like even if I'm in a capacity where I'm a recruit, I can bring those type of people in. That's just the type of people I'm gonna get, because I know what type of people the city loves.
Yeah, and the fans here love you. Like there are some players that have played for the Bearcats that there's just this fascination with certain players. You're one of those players, and on top of that, there are iconic images of you that people just won't ever forget. Like the Midnight Madness dunks, the in-game dunks, when you wore the red Jordans. Like there were so many, and they're iconic. Your picture's on the damn wall in the office. Like that picture alone there is an iconic image. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so people love that. And for you to come back at some point, and if you remember when I interviewed you way back, I told you will be a fantastic coach if that's something that you pursue. So hopefully that happens at some point. And what I want you to do right now for me, I want you to act like I'm Wes Miller, and I'm calling James White. I'm calling you. Why should I hire you to be my next assistant coach? Sell me right now.
Well, I mean, if you're going to hire anybody, there's nothing that anybody that you can hire can do better than me. I mean, my basketball knowledge is top notch. I know all the programs. I know how I can help you and assist you in any way. But on top of that, I can get recruits. I can help players develop. And when the players look at me, they look at a guy who has been where they want to be, and I can help them all achieve that. When I walk into a living room with players, with parents and the players, I can tell them how to reach their goals. And for the most part, I think they'll believe me, because I've been there and I've done it for 15 years. So not just that, but all around basketball aspect, I can help your team in any way. And, I mean, my passion for the Bearcats is second to none. My passion for for being a coach and developing players and helping young kids reach their dreams is second to none. And that's basically it.
You sold me. You're hired. You're in. And you said something. So what a lot of Bearcat fans need to understand is when assistant coaches are hired, one of their main jobs is to get players. And I think one of the many strengths you would bring to the table is the fact that you've got access to a lot of players. I mean, there are a lot of you're still connected in the basketball world, correct?
Yeah, but see, like this year was crazy because, I mean, I have so many kids that I either coached or I just know, because I still play, either playing against, like in summer, like from, D.C. is a hub. So D.C. is like the number one hub as far as basketball kids go. And it was like 10 guys in the portal this year that I know and hit me up or I hit them up and they're like, yo, what's up? Where you going to be at? Like, are you going to, because at the time I was talking to Brendan about coming on staff and I'm like, man, I might be there, I'll go. What you gonna do? It's just like it was crazy, but I'm still connected with a lot of guys. I'm still young enough to relate to some of the kids, so it's like, I follow some of these recruits. My son's 16. I got a nice, I got a guy here who does all the events in the Texas for the high school kids, so I have that plug. Of course, I got the DC Assault and the team takeover plug in DC. So does DeMar. That's the thing about DeMar. He's going to be, I don't know if he's doing how much recruiting he's doing, but him being able to walk in the gym is going to turn a lot of heads because he knows a lot of people in the Washington, D.C. area and the Cincinnati area as far as high school and high school kids. So he's going to be able to get some players too, and get some looks and get some guys in there too. And so that's going to help a lot. But yeah, and then the overseas connection, if we ever wanted to go that route and get some guys from Turkey or Croatia or especially Italy, I always got that part too. So yeah, I got some ties.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's talk about the Big Three and your involvement with the Big Three. So first of all, how did you get involved with the Big Three?
It's crazy because when the Big Three started, nobody knew what it was. Nobody knew how it was going to turn out. But I wanted to be a part of it, and I seen that, DJ and Kenyon, DJ was DJ AI was the coach and for DJ's team. DJ was the captain, and Kenyon was the captain for Trilogy. I was overseas, so I wasn't able to go to the combine. So, they had a thing where they was doing like a challenge with somebody challenge somebody to make 10 threes or something. I turned in a challenge and sent it all to the captains and stuff and made a bunch of threes. I was in Iran, matter of fact. And so when the draft came, I didn't think I was going to get drafted. So I'm on Twitter and Black Sports Online, I think it's called, BSO. He tweeted, I thought James White was still in the league. And I tweeted, I was like, whoa, what happened? I got drafted or something? He said, yeah, you just got drafted, but I don't know who I'll hit you back. Come to find out it was Kenyon. So, I mean, that was like,
okay.
Kenyon drafted me, you know what I'm saying? So, like, if Kenyon didn't draft me, DJ probably would have drafted me if Kenyon didn't draft me. But Kenyon got me first. And it was a perfect marriage, man. Then what happened was the first game of the season, Kenyon got hurt. So, Rick Mahorn doesn't really know me, like that. He doesn't really, you don't practice or nothing. So Rick Mahorn doesn't know me. But I had to play at that point. I had a great game. Probably had like 20. And then after that, Kenyon was hurt. Then we just started rolling. Me, McCants, Al Harrington, Deion Glover, sometimes Parker. We just was rolling. And we just, we ran the table that first year and won a championship. And then from there, I got Defensive Player of the Year. Then from there, the next year we came back with the same team because if you win it, you keep the same team. So we came with the same team. We didn't, we had injuries, so we didn't do as well. And then both of those guys, McCants and Al, they didn't come back the third year. And it was just, I was made a co-captain. Me and David Hawkins made co-captains. And Kenyon was a coach. And we had a pretty good year, but we had so many new dudes that didn't know, like, the way of the Big Three. So this year, I'm back co-captain. Stack Jack is the head coach. and Jared Jack's the captain, and Amir Johnson's the other co-captain.
Okay. So how long do you think you'll stay involved with the Big Three? Obviously, if you get a college coaching job, you'll have to.
I don't know because DJ's still playing, I believe.
He's playing this?
Yeah, he's the captain of his team. DJ's the captain of his team. You didn't know that?
I did not know this.
Yeah, DJ's the captain of Three's company. He's the captain. He's been the captain the whole time. Yeah.
Oh man.
So I don't know. It's because it's only one day out of your week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's one day, and really you can leave that same day. So you can come in that day and leave that day. You can play your game and really leave the same day. It depends on how your schedule is. How his schedule is. But I mean, if it
is that what you're doing? Are you just flying, or are you staying?
Because this year's in Vegas. The first 4 or 5 games are in Vegas. I think they'll have a place for us there. I don't know if I'm gonna stay or not. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I have to see how it works out.
Is AI involved?
Nah, not this year. Nah, he's done. He was done after the first year, which was a big blow because he really was the face of it. Really, he was the reason a lot of people came out that first year, just to see him. For sure. They just came out to see him, and that was a big blow. It was definitely a different, and he brought the brotherhood for us, the players. When we went to a city, we all went to his room. He had the crazy suite, and everybody went to his room, played cards, hung out. If you ever met AI, he's a really he shows love to everybody. He's the most loving dude I've ever met. I just seen him recently, a week ago. And he acted like I was AI. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Really?
How I would act when I see him is how he acts when he sees anybody. He shows you so much love. Man, you know what I'm saying? He shows so much love to everybody. He really brought the brotherhood to the Big Three the first year. It was way different after he left. So it was a big loss that he's not there.
And that's one of the guys that, number one, I've never met AI. Number two, that's one guy I've always wanted to meet. So I hope to meet him one day. So that's good to hear. Yeah, that's very, very good to hear. So I'll be out in Vegas in August. So
we'll be there.
Okay, I'm gonna look you up. We're gonna connect up
for sure.
I'm definitely gonna be by.
Listen how God works. The first the Tank Davis fight, I'll be in Vegas. That Saturday, I'll be in Vegas for that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, not Tank Davis. I'm sorry. The Wilder and Fury fight, I'll be in Vegas, and the Earl Spence and Pacquiao fight will be in Vegas for both of those. So
wow, so you'll get to check out both of them
for sure. I'll be in the building. Even if I'm nosebleed, I'm gonna be in the building.
Yeah, that would be good. Those would be two good ones for sure.
Yes.
Speaking of fighting, I didn't have this on my script to talk to you about, but man, these fans are out of control at the NBA games, and we've seen this before, and I know you've played overseas, and it's wild over there as well, but it's every game, it's just something over and over, whether you're dumping popcorn on Russ, the fans spitting on Trey, and the fan ran on the court and tried to smack the backboard. And what's your take on all this right now?
I knew once the media made a big deal out of it that there were going to be more copycats, and there's more stuff going to happen because that's how these people are. It's going to be a copycat. People are going to try to upstage the next person. Somebody else is going to run on the court and try to shoot the ball or something crazy like that. I'm telling you. So there's going to be more stuff, but we've been dealing with that stuff forever. It's just that the media took it further and they got more eyes. There's more cameras than ever too. But like I said on Twitter, man, this stuff that's happening, the spitting is overhand, the popcorn, but I've seen some crazy stuff in my day as far as basketball games is concerned with the overseas stuff. It's
give me a good one. Give me a good one.
Man, I think I said this one on Twitter, man. We're jumping ball. And a fan, we're in a small gym too. The fan threw a water bottle filled with pee and maybe some feces across the court. And I coached, and it was half open. And I coached ducked like right in time, and they like exploded all over like the bench. It was crazy. I seen when Greece plays, like Greece and Turkey don't have the craziest fans, but like when Greece plays Turkey, like say, because I played in my first year overseas, I played it for Fenerbahce in Turkey. We went to play Panathinaikos in Greece in Athens, and man, they letting off bombs, like these little bombs inside trash cans, lighting trash cans on fire while the game's going on, throwing stuff all over the court, like crazy. Yeah,
yes.
we beat Partizan one time, and we beat Partizan, which is in Belgrade, and you talking about raining nickels and dimes and whatever them coins is they got, bro. I'm talking, we had to get like shelter. We had to run off the court. They was throwing so much stuff on the court. It was crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah. That makes the NBA stuff look like nothing compared to that. But it's like, I feel we're coming off the pandemic. It's back to capacity. It's almost like people have to relearn how to be like human beings again in public. Right. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like people are just losing their mind. And I agree with you because I said the same thing to a friend of mine. I think we're going to continue to see this. I mean, people are like, I don't know if you've seen this, but there have been almost every night, every other night in baseball, they're fighting in the stands. I mean, I'm talking about knocking
every
people
night.
out.
Yeah, especially in Houston. They get in the fight. My friends go to the games. Every time they go to the games, they say there's been fights at the Houston Astros games. Like, yeah, I just think, like people are not being used to being around each other. Like, and I think it's going to take some time for them to get back to normal and treat people like they're supposed to be treated. Like this. I think that's just what it is. But as far as the games go, yeah, like people are going to continue to do crazy stuff, man. It is what it is, and the consequences are not like, so if a guy runs on the course and shoots a shot and he gets banned from Madison Square Garden for life, that's not a big deal to them.
Right? What is? Yeah.
Like a guy can come back. Somebody else can buy your ticket. Somebody can buy you a ticket and you can come in with a hat or some glasses on. That doesn't change anything. You know what I'm saying? Like they're still gonna be able to go to the game eventually.
I agree with that. I think they need to be arrested. I think I saw that the guy who threw the popcorn on Russ was in court. Like, and I think there has to be severe penalties because in a sense you're crossing a line, whether it's you're throwing stuff, spitting stuff going on the court, that they need to be prosecuted. And some people are like, oh, that's too much, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, the safety of these guys, and I think KD was criticized, but he was like, we're not animals in the zoo. Like,
right.
And I agree with him, 100% on that. And the last thing, let me ask you this. And I was talking to some of my AAU kids, and we were having this discussion. And of course, both you and I are from an older generation and watching the NBA. We've seen different levels of the NBA. Do you think right now in 2021, if you look top to bottom, is the league as talented as it's ever been?
Skill-wise, yes. Doesn't mean they're better basketball players.
Mm-hmm.
So skill-wise, the game of basketball is at its height right now as far as skill-wise. Like, and when I say skill, I mean guys can dribble, pass, and shoot better than they could do back in the day. But understanding the game might be at an all-time low, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so explain that. Give me an example.
So knowing how to play the game, knowing when to use the stuff you use, and knowing not to overdo. Like, just because you can do 25 between the legs doesn't mean you do it. Like, the between the legs is meant to be done at certain points. Use it to get somewhere. Like, there's guys that have all the skills, but they're using it in places they shouldn't be using it. Like,
mm-hmm.
That's what I mean. Like,
mm-hmm.
just because, like, and you put a guy, like, it's guys that weren't as skilled back in the day, but understood how to play the game better. Like, Draymond Green is not the most skilled guy. He doesn't have as much skill as a lot of these dudes, but he knows how to play the game, so he's always going to be valuable. to any team he plays on because he's not a play.
Yep.
And that's what I mean. Like these kids, all of them can do everything, but they don't know how to play. And the reason why is because they work out all the time, but they don't play.
Mm-hmm.
So they work out way more than they play. And playing is the most important part. That's when you learn how to go against, if you drive into the hole, how to body somebody up. Like, because you've been through it so many times, you know how to body a big dude up, get a Swiss body and finish. Rather than shooting a floater or one leg, the one leg off the wrong leg, right hand layup when you see a big dude coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are skills you work on in the game. It's good to have, and you might use them, but knowing how to body somebody up is something you learn in a game, playing, pickup.
So do you think that, with what you just said, do you think that's why a player like Luka is so, he's so dominant and effective right now? He's been playing for so long at a professional level.
You have up. This is what people will never see. I was the same way. So when I went from the NBA to overseas, I'm thinking like, I'm going to go over here and just dominate these people because they're just not in it. I'm another level than you guys. But the basketball is so different, and it's so pure. It's like a pure form of basketball. It's almost like the college women's game, kind of like that, like where it's more about your skill level and playing the game the right way every time. And the higher you go, it's more important to play the right way every time. He's been doing that and playing like that since he was 15. He was a EuroLeague MVP at 17, 16, EuroLeague MVP and a champion. That's like unheard of. Like, and you got to understand the things he was doing to grown men and like guys that have been playing their whole lives. Like, it's so much harder to do what he did over there than it is. It's so much easier for him in the NBA than it is overseas. Put it like that.
I think he's mentioned something about that in an interview. Like, the NBA, he goes, a lot of parts of the game are easy for me.
Only part that's harder is that they have the players are more athletic, right? But then they can't touch him. So you can be as athletic as you want to, but if I change directions on you like he does between the legs all the time, changes directions. If I change directions on you and go this way, you can't really touch me anyway. So that's kind of eliminated. And then going to the rim, the guy who's meeting you at the rim is probably way more athletic. Clint Capella, you got Clint Capella meeting you at the rim, rather than a guy who's like a Paul Gasol now. You know what I'm saying? Like a 40-year-old Paul Gasol. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? That's the only difference. But if his skill level is such that he's going to find a way. If he drives to the hole, he's going to shoot a floater. He's going to penetrate, dump it off, do whatever, step back. He has so many different ways, and he's been doing it for so long that he's figuring it out every time.
Yep, for sure. Listen, man, I could talk hoops with you all day, man, and I've told people over and over that you're going to be a fantastic, coach, and obviously you're doing that now and doing a great job. And hopefully, at some point, we can get you roaming the sidelines here at the University of Cincinnati, man. I think the fans would love that. Former players would love that. I would love that. So, but I thought it was important that I got you back on the podcast to kind of update people on where you're at and, let the fans know that you've put in the grind and time that you deserve to be a coach at UC at some point. And I want people to understand that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. It don't have to happen right away. It'll happen. I believe in all that stuff. It's gonna come full circle eventually. But it'll happen. It'll happen when it's supposed to happen. So just let the fans know. Continue to support Bearcats. We on the right path, right direction to bring back them glory days, man. So
for sure,
let's go Bearcats.
Yep, for sure, man. Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll let you get back to the grind, and we'll keep in touch. But I'm definitely gonna see you in Vegas for sure, man. I'll come out and check you out with the Big Three. For
sure. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Yep, all good, bro. We'll catch up.
Yep.
All right, later, man.
So this segment is sponsored by the College of Arts and Sciences at the University of Cincinnati. They have a new flexible bachelor's degree that will allow you to graduate conveniently and affordably. You won't lose any credit or have to start over. Once again, I want to thank everybody for the support. The podcast numbers have doubled. We've got more and more people listening. sponsors want to come aboard. And I really think it's just because people are listening, and hopefully we're giving them good content. I think over the next couple months, we've got some surprises and some great content coming. The Bearcat Basketball Podcast is now presented by the Healthcare Management Group. Shout out to everyone at HCMG, and thank you for the support. Once again, you can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Alex_Meacham. Meacham spelled Meacham. You can also find me on Facebook and LinkedIn, Alex Meacham. On Snapchat at BigMeach41. I'm on TikTok, Alex Meacham41. Right, Stu?
That's right.
Video coming soon. I want to thank everybody for listening to the Bearcat Basketball Podcast. Go Bearcats!